Hello everybody and welcome back to AOR. This is the Hype Energy F3 League, which takes us to the Italian Grand Prix. My name is Kieran McGinley and joining me in the box as always is Austin Smith. Austin, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great, Kieran. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. I'm looking forward to this. It's a classic track, this one. Only 11 corners. We say only 11 corners, but it's probably one of the most classic tracks on the calendar, Austin.
Indeed, it is. A lot of history here. I mean, the old oval, obviously known to many, known for the 39-degree banking, which is insane by today's standards. But hey, at the time, people thought that was a good idea. I think looking back, maybe it wasn't. But now we've got this track here, a little bit more modern, but nonetheless still pretty fast. As you said, only 11 corners. A little bit more than the oval had, obviously. But at the same time, very, very fast. Long straights, chicanes. That's pretty much what makes Monza what it is. And it is a fan favorite, and it is also a driver favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. We were seeing a lot of talk on Twitter, especially from Demon, saying in a tweet, he's looking forward. He said this morning he was looking forward to getting his 6th win of the season. Confidence personified. He's only a small margin behind the race or the championship leader, Sergey. Bundles of confidence. I wonder if that's going to come back to bite him, Austin.
I mean, he's setting himself up for something here. That is for sure. If he wins, everyone's gonna say, "Oh, okay, he won." If he doesn't win, everyone's gonna say, "Oh, what was that before the race? What did you say?" So he's really just increasing the height from which he may or may not fall.
Absolutely, and it's only 6 points in it, Austin, between championship leader Sergey and Demon. You've also got Dan 19 points behind in 3rd place, and then in 4th place is Pitmat. He's 50 points off the lead, and with only 8 races to go, Austin, a 50-point gap to the championship leader kind of looks like it's going to be a 3-horse race to the end of the season, but never say never.
I mean, if you look at it from a certain perspective, let me say this. 7 points is what you get if you win over 2nd place. We've got 8 races left. 7 times 8 is 56. That is 6 points more than the gap. Pip Matt can win the championship under his own power. He would have to win the final 8 races, all of them, to secure that. But it is still possible. He doesn't need any help from anyone else. He just needs to win. He needs some very, very good results. The issue I see with this, though, is he didn't win a single race this season so far. He got a lot of 2nd places, a lot of 3rd places, 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th. Only 1 DNF, but he never got a win so far this season. So I think there's no better place to start for him, to start winning, than Monza.
Yeah, absolutely. We're riding on board with Solid Ninja Snake as he heads towards Ascari on those super soft tyres, and this could be a qualifying session, Austin, and should be a qualifying session where we see the drivers go for the fastest possible tyre, and that would be refreshing to see.
Yes, we did have our fair share of qualifying sessions where drivers decided to go onto the medium compound. Some didn't even bother going out in the first place. This right here is going to be a proper qualifying session. We see drivers go out on the fastest compound, which is the super soft right here, the red wall tire. And it is a tire that definitely can hold up to, I would say, 11 laps at the max, although you wouldn't want to take it that long. I think 10 is what you would want to take it. 11 is possible. And then you switch onto the soft or the medium if you struggle with tire wear. Both tire compounds are options, but expect most of the drivers to go from super soft to soft, or if they qualify outside the top 10, the other way around.
Yeah, we've got Drez there in the Haas, and we haven't seen a lot of Drez this season, Austin. Obviously teammate to the championship leader. How would you see Drez's season so far, I guess?
I mean, it's had its ups and downs. He got a second place in his third race this season in France. But other than that, 7th in Britain, 10th in Monaco, 12th in Canada, didn't start 2 races, Germany and Hungary, and 2 DNFs in Austria and in Belgium. So he had his shining moment pretty much in France. Other than that, I would say subpar.
Subpar, of course, and something we don't normally talk about is, you know, the role of a teammate. As he runs very wide through Parabolica and decides just to abandon the lap completely. We've got some lap times here then. Solid Ninja State 120.1, Elite Game Boy taking to the infield there, 120.3, Roadhouse 120.3 as well. The OG 120.3 on the soft tyres. Meanwhile, Dan the Snake has gone into the 119s with a 19.7. We've got Sergey there, championship leader, now down to 8th, 120.5. That's Pitmat there. He's obviously heard us on the stream there, Austin. He's just put in a 119.9. Mike there in with a 122.2 on the Super Softs, but I don't think that's a representative lap time. Gwiggs popping up there in the Ferrari. Big pressure on Gwiggs and Jamie James, of course. The Tifosi out here to see those famous red liveried Ferraris. Let's see if they can do the job that the fans want them to. Alex Musica 127.9 non-representative lap time, as Demon now goes top of the table, 119.6, and that confidence is oozing through there, just over a tenth quicker than his teammate so far. Yet to see a lap from Drez, who's come back into the pits. Meanwhile, Apex, 1 win this season, makes his way around Parabolica, but he's actually run out of fuel already. I don't think he actually completed a lap there, and he's run out of fuel.
Oh my, that is a very interesting start to his qualifying session, but he does make it back into the pits. And Elite Game Boy gets a 5-second grid penalty for a collision with Sergey. That was at the pit entry. That is a questionable penalty, but I'm confused now. But yeah, we have 3 drivers left now with no time. That is Army Drez, Apex, and Alex. So everyone pretty much with an A, except for Alex Musica, who really didn't set that good of a lap time. 127.9, as he does come across the line once again. This time, no improvement, actually, as he invalidated his lap. It would have been a 122, still for last place, but he invalidated that lap time as well. So no change for him, but he's on the softs right now, so he's just trying to get a feel for the car, maybe run some practice laps really, and get familiar with the track and find his braking points, and then get on those super softs towards the end of the session when the track is in its best condition, and just, as I like to say, let the cows fly around this lap.
I'd have understood it if it was horses, Austin. Horsepower, I would have got it, but cows? Nah, you've lost me.
It's a German thing. Don't ask me.
I'll hold you to that then. I won't ask you. Drez then on a flying lap then in the Haas. We've got Jamie James then, who pops up to P2 in the Ferrari. Manolo up to P4, 119.8, back into the pit lane. We've got Igo Champ there in P7. Just trying to go through the names I didn't get a chance to go through. We're riding on board with Drez then, as he's right behind Apex, who is on an outlap as we head through the first Lesmo, then coming towards the second Lesmo. He's got the Apex there, right in front of him, and also the OG. This can't be helping his lap time here as we head through the DRS zone. I don't think Drez is going to be too happy with the Force India there, and the Renault of the OG gets out of the way as soon as he possibly can, as now we head to Ascari. That left, right, left there. Watch the curbs on each of those corners. They can easily spin the car around if you're too greedy. As we head now down this short straight towards Parabolica. Very, very easy to run too deep into Parabolica. You want to prioritise your exit here rather than your entry. And you can use a little bit of that green stuff there, as Drez is doing as he heads towards the line. What's this lap time going to be then? As he crosses the line, it's actually provisional pole, 119.6. And after all that, I was saying, oh, he might be getting held up. Well, actually, he might have just got a little bit of slipstream there. Puts it onto pole position.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I didn't want to interrupt you there, but my first thought was, hey, that's actually helping him right there. He's getting some slipstream on a straight where he does get the DRS help anyway, and so he gets two pieces of support, and he might actually maybe save some DRS in the process, some ERS in the process as well, save some battery, because you only have so much deployment on a lap, so you could tune that down a little and then have more over the rest of the laps. So that helped him very much, and it helped him enough to put him on provisional pole for now. Very, very good job, as now he's braking in Lesmo 1. I do not know what is going on there, but a little bit of a traffic jam, it seemed like, with Apex. Maybe it almost looked like he was trying to brake check him. Like Drez was trying to brake check Apex, which I don't understand, because again, if anything, the slipstream helped him and didn't hold him up. But maybe he thinks differently, I don't know. As his teammate Sergi now with the 119.5, the first one to break that 10th, before Drez with a 119.6, so we're getting there. Maybe we'll get under 119.5 over the rest of the session. There's still 8 minutes 40 seconds left, so a long time to go. And again, the track only gets better from here on out.
Absolutely, and all the drivers will be hoping there's no rain. Currently, only 2 drivers have set their best lap that's not on the super soft tyre. That's Alex Musica and Gwiggs. So a lot of pressure on them then to just go for the super soft run as they head towards the halfway point in this session. Only Apex has yet to set a lap, and Alex Musica has set a better lap time. Gwiggs there in the Ferrari, provisional pole position, 119.3. I reckon, Austin, we could see a 118 by the end of this session.
Oh, I think that's very much possible. Gwiggs here with a very, very good lap, and that should make the Tifosi here very, very excited, as Gwiggs puts his car in the first place for now. I was looking at him just as you mentioned that he set his lap time, his previous lap time on the softs. I looked at him, I was like, wait, he doesn't have the super softs fitted right now, and he's on a lap. And so I switched on it and just caught the end of it.
Have come together on the exit of Ascari. Oh my goodness, Igo Champ was on an out lap and Apex was on his flying lap. They've both come together. They're both out of the qualifying session. That is dramatic. My goodness, I don't think there'll be very many kind words with either driver after that incident.
Yeah, that is... I mean, there's something to be said about collisions between cars from different teams, but from the same team, haven't we learned anything from Verstappen and Ricciardo in Azerbaijan? Haven't we learned anything?
Well, apparently not, because that means Apex will start from the back of the grid, because he didn't set a lap time in this session. The only saving grace that he has is those super softs he won't be starting on, because of course they're taken out of the equation. They'll be binned now.
Yeah, not just that. Igo Champ is in 16th place right now. If Alex Musica just slightly improves, all he needs is 2/10. Igo Champ will start in second last place.
And it won't be a very good start for the Force Indias, and I think Alex Musica will sort of realise that as he's on his outlap right now. Let's see what tyres he's on. He is on the super softs, so he will be going for it, and as long as he gets ahead of the Force Indias, they will have had a rotten day today. But let's have a look. To be honest with you, Austin, I'm actually alright with this. I'll tell you what, it's how much is that? 8/10 between first and currently Alex Musica? It's a full second now. I'll tell you what, that's not bad.
Now, yeah.
That's not bad for the entire field. 1 second. I'll take that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'll take that too. And can I just reiterate something, or go a little deeper on the Force India collision there? Because if you remember, oh no, you weren't there. I'm sorry. Sorry.
A good start.
I totally forgot. I totally forgot. But last race, for the viewers, if you were there and you remember, it was a Force India 1-2. And now they go to the back of the grid for this race.
It's almost like a punishment for finishing 1 and 2.
Yeah,
now you have to start. Now you have to start 16th and 18th provisionally right now. As we'll have a look at Alex Musica. He is currently going through the Lesmos, but he's not going full pace. At least I don't think. No, he's not using all the revs.
Yeah, but it seems like the league has said, or the league coordinator has said, you perform so well in Belgium, you got to be punished. Back of the grid for you. My goodness. And they were like, okay, if we have to do that, we can go out in style. I don't know if that's what they understand as style, but my goodness.
I don't think there's going to be
in qualifying.
I think this next year's next year's Christmas card list is going to be very sparse for both Force India drivers. As Demon 119.2 goes even quicker, and I think, Austin, we are going to see a 118. I'm not willing to put any money on it, but you know, we could see it.
You cheapskate. But then again, I probably wouldn't put any money on it either.
All right, hang on a minute.
I think it's no. At this point, I think it does seem. I think it does seem pretty likely. With 4 minutes left to go, again, the track is improving every second now, and we're proud. I think Demon. As good of a lap that he had there, I think that is not the last word being spoken here for pole position. I think we will see a faster time. At the very least, I think a 119.1, if not into the 118s.
Here comes Sergey then around the final corner as the OG goes up to P3, 119.4. Sergey instantly takes that back with a 119.3. So with 3 minutes to go, he's going to have one more run. If he can make it back to the pits and put on a new set of tyres, he will have time, but it will be very tight. Dan the Snake, meanwhile, P7 at the moment as he makes his way around Parabolica. He's on an outlap right now, so watch out for him. His teammate's currently on provisional pole, so 19 points off the championship lead. This is not ideal for him as he makes his way onto his flying lap. We'll see what he can do. Other drivers who might be on a flying lap. Chrome Nexus is in P14. Is this an outlap? We'll see from the timing. It is an outlap. So no one on a flying lap, or coming to the end of a flying lap anyway. There's Elite Game Boy going through the Lesmos, and Sergey's retired. So he thinks maybe he doesn't have enough time to go out there and set a lap. So it's at least P3.
So, but I'm surprised because you only take a minute and 20 around here, as you can see. So an outlap, and like you really, if you go out of the pits, you only need a minute and 30 really, and then do your outlap, and you will cross the line with something between 1 and 10 seconds. So I don't understand that, but Sergi apparently has different ideas. Maybe he thinks, okay, that's as good as I've done a lap time here all week, and so I'm just gonna say, you know what, I'll take that, and whatever happens, happens. But I would have tried to challenge Demon a little more. I mean, you're the championship leader, you're only 6 points ahead, and you're gonna give your opponent, your rival, the pole position, at least for now. That's kind of, I would say, kind of questionable, but I mean, he has to make that call as the OG also retires from the session. So we see a couple of drivers getting out early here, but everyone else who hasn't retired is on track right now, as everyone wants to make use of these track conditions right now and get a lap time in.
Absolutely. We saw there Dan the Snake riding on board. He grabbed P4. And I don't think he's got time for another lap. Here comes Jamie James then, in a Ferrari. What can he do? It's P2, 119.3. So close for Jamie James, but just not quite enough. And it'll be at least second place for him. Griggs is on an outlap. He'll be able to make it back to the start-finish line in time. Dan the Snake looks like he's calling it a day. Currently in P5. Roadhouse is on a flying lap, as is Drez. We've also got Alex 20 making his way towards Parabolica, and I'm not sure whether this is an outlap or not as he makes his way around Parabolica. We'll have to wait and see as he makes his way towards the pit lane. So it's an abandoned lap then from Alex 20. Manolo gets across the line. He'll be able to have a flying lap. Pitmat as well in the Mercedes. Fourth place in the championship, currently P13 in qualifying. He needs to do a little bit better than that. He needs to keep that point scoring up if he wants to stay in this championship battle. Mike in the Renault making his way through the first chicane then. as Alex Musica looking to try and get ahead of one of the Force Indias. He's already ahead of one. He's got to get ahead of the other now. Gwiggs now on a flying lap. Can a Ferrari get onto pole position? Dresden retires from the session. He's made a mistake. Roadhouse gets well out of the way of his teammate. That's Solid Ninja Snake, who makes his way around the final corner. What can he do in terms of lap time? Can he get into the top 10? No, he can't, and he misses out. He doesn't improve. That's 0.08 of a second he was slower. And that's a kick in the gut for him, as Griggs now makes his way around the second Lesmo towards the DRS zone. The second DRS zone makes his way through Curva Seraglio as he makes his way down towards Ascari now. This quick left, right, left here. Has he got the curves right then? The entry looked a little bit scruffy, but the exit is what's important here as he makes his way now towards Parabolica. And the Tifosi are on the edge of their seats here. Can Gwiggs do it? He needs to find just 1/10 of a second as he makes his way around Parabolica. What can he do then? Foot hard on the floor now, but he makes his way back to the pits. So it's not going to be a Ferrari front row at all. And as you look at it, everyone has taken the checkered flag. No one currently on a flying lap, which means then Demon is on pole position for the Italian Grand Prix.
Yes, and not just that, he also has 2 cars and quite symbolically both Ferraris between himself and the leader in the championship, Sergey. So that is something he definitely looks for, and something that he probably hopes that they will be some kind of buffer, some kind of rear gunners for him, but they might be gunning for him instead. Jamie James and Giggs definitely with some serious pace around here. Now all they need to do is bring it into the race and bring the fight to Demon, who is on pole position.
And we'll go through the entire standings when they appear. And of course we have some 5-place grid penalties to hand out as well, as awarded to by the in-game stewards. But Demon is on pole position there. Jamie James in second, Gwiggs in third, Sergey fourth, Dan the Snake in fifth, Manolo in sixth, the OG in seventh, Drez is in eighth, Roadhouse ninth, Pitmat getting into the top 10 then. Elite Game Boy qualified 11th, but will get a 5-place grid penalty. Alex 20 12th, Solid Ninja Snake 13th, Mike in 14th, Crow Nexus 15th, Algo Champ 16th. Alex Musica didn't improve. He starts in P17, and Apex getting caught up with his teammate at the exit of Ascari. And both Force Indias are starting well down the field. 1.1 seconds separates the entire field, Austin. I am really looking forward to this one.
Oh, as am I. And the 5-second grid penalty for Elite Game Boy means that Igo Champ will be the last one to improve by 1 position because of it. So Igo Champ will start in 15th, Elite Game Boy 16th, and then we've got Alex Musica and Apex in 17 and 18. So there are 2 cars between the 2 Force Indias. So we do have a little bit of buffer there. But oh my, could you imagine if they come together in turn 1 as well?
Well, I was just about to say, going down towards the first corner, obviously the Retafilo chicane, probably one of the toughest places to have a first corner at any track. But the cars have to slow all the way down to around about 60 miles an hour to make the chicane, and trying to go too wide through there, it always provides some sort of action. So expect to see at least one person into the gravel on the exit of turn 2. It more often than not happens, and as they head through the Curva Grande then towards Roger chicane, obviously where we saw in the real race Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel come together and sent Vettel into a spin. Hopefully we don't see any of that today, but such a classic track builds up to such a classic race, and we'll see if the ego of Demon is affected at this race, or it's reinforced. We are going to find out. There is a possibility that Demon could take the championship lead at this race. He just has to win the race. He will take the championship lead no matter where Sergey finishes, and that will be a real boost to him with 7 races to go.
We've got 27 laps to go here on this one.
No, 7 laps before the season ends. That's it.
Oh, okay. I mean, Demon would probably like that. In pole position, only 7 laps, and winner gets 25 points. So if he wins the championship. I think he would take that over the way it is right now with 8 races left to go. 1 here and then 7 more in the coming weeks. But hey, he can't choose it. We got eight races to go, one here right now in Monza. And Demon starts from pole position with Jamie James in second, Giggs third, Sergey fourth, Dan fifth, Manolo 6, the OG 7, Dress 8, Roadhouse 9, Pipmat 10, all on the super softs. Alex 20, Sword Ninja Snake 11 and 12, both on the soft, so they will go for the how can you say that, the mirror strategy, the other way around. They start on the harder compound and they will go onto the super softs at around lap 16, 17, maybe 18, we will see. Then we've got Mike Tynus, Cronexus, and Igo Champ all on the super softs again. And Elite Game Boy in 16 on the softs. Alex Musica, is that the mediums? Do I see that correctly?
Yes,
he's the only one on the mediums. And Apex also on the softs. So Alex Musica apparently does not have enough confidence in being able to handle the tire temperatures and the tire wear, so he opts for a harder strategy, which doesn't cost him that much time, I can tell you that. The medium to super soft strategy would not cost that much time, so you can pull it off. We're gonna probably see him come into the pits last after everyone else, unless he obviously has some kind of incident, let's say, but hopefully not. But here we go. Kieran, take it away.
I will indeed. Here we are then for the Italian Grand Prix. It's 5 red lights. Round 14 is underway, and what are the starts like? Looks like Demon's got a fantastic start, but what can the two Ferraris do? It looks like they're trying to go side by side, but Gwiggs gets a good start then as we head down towards turn 1. Heavy braking now. We're going to see any instance, any lockups as we head through the first chicane then. Looks clean so far. Everybody's behaving themselves, and as we head round now to the Curva Grande, we've got a little bit of a change of formation in the midfield, but everyone's facing the right way as we head through the Curva Grande. Demon leading them from Gwiggs, Jamie James, and Dan the Snake. Sergey there holds his position in P5, and he'll want to try and get up the grid now as we head towards the Roger chicane. Now coming through the Lesmos now, we've got the two McLarens battling for position. Solid Ninja Snake. Roadhouse is actually losing ground. He's under pressure there from Chrome Nexus as we head through the first Lesmo. Igo Champ then making his way up the field. Mike under pressure from Apex. Remember, Apex having to start from the back of the grid after that qualifying crash. Elite Game Boy is actually, I think he's fallen actually a couple of positions there. He's now down to P17. Dresdo trying to go side by side with Manolo. He gets ahead of Manolo actually. Pitmat there up to 9th. He did start P10 as we head down the short straight towards the Parabolica. That's Alex 20 there running a little bit wide on the exit there. But as Demon comes around Parabolica for the first time, then everybody's facing the right way. There's no debris on the track. Demon will cross the line in the lead. Griggs in second. Jamie James third. Dan the Snake fourth. Sergey in fifth. And the two Ferraris here could be battling as we head down towards turn 1 then. You can see there Jamie James trying to take the inside line. Are the Ferraris going to battle as he head towards turn 1? They are not, but there is a battle behind them though. Look at this there. That's a Haas. Oh, that's a Haas making contact. Sorry, the Sauber there made contact with the Haas, and there's a Sauber gone round now. It's taken 2 laps for that to happen. Dress has got a 3-second time penalty. Manolo lights up the rear tyres and gets going away pretty quickly. That's a bit messy there going into turn 1 again. That was I think that was Alex 20 going off the track. He got a little bit of a hit from the Haas behind him. He drops down to P12 now under pressure from Solid Ninja Snake as we head through the second chicane. And Austin, you're going to have to steal this mic away from me. I'm hogging it too much.
No, that is totally fine. There was a lot of action going on right there, and you said there was no debris. I thought for a second that there was some debris in turn 1 at lap 1, but it looks like it's some of these leaves that are just flying all over the track. As you can see, a lot of trees here around the track, so it was probably just a couple of leaves that were falling there. So I was a little confused, but you had the mic anyway, so that didn't matter too much. But meanwhile, Dan the Snake now moving up into 3rd. No, he's back to 4th. He's side by side with Jamie James. No slipstream for either of them. Now he gets a little bit from Giggs, and if anything, if I was Giggs, I would want to give slipstream to my teammate over Dan, to have him as a kind of rear gunner, but apparently Giggs was not that present about that for a second and forgot about the drivers behind him. So now He rectified that in the second half of that straight, and Jamie James was able to pull ahead, especially in the braking zone, and keep that third place for now.
Well, we've got Manolo into the pits then. He's put on a set of medium tyres. He'll want to go to the end of the race, and I have to say that's entirely possible. Especially at this track, you could actually make it to the end on those medium tyres. There's a lot of tyre management you have to do, but it's entirely possible. Dan the Snake then making his way down towards Ascari then. He's right behind Jamie James, and you can see Giggs there is making a little bit of ground on his teammate, and Dan the Snake is going to be in prime position here to try and attack using the DRS down the start-finish straight. Remember, there's 2 DRS zones, and the exit of Ascari and the straight down here isn't one of them. You'd think that's the place where DRS would be, but no. As we come through Parabolica, now we're coming down the start-finish straight. It's a long start-finish straight as well. That is Dan Snake, who will have DRS, but he's got to be careful here from Sergey, who looks like he's got a good run on him. He had a much better exit out of Parabolica. He's got the slipstream on Dan the Snake. He looks to the right-hand side there, where the door was not that open, as he locks up into turn 1. Oh, he's lost the car! And he collects Dan the Snake and spins him round. No, Dan the Snake just about recovers. And the OG there getting 2 positions out of completely nowhere.
Yeah, and it looks to me like there was again a little bit of debris. I don't know where it came from, whether it's from Sergi or whether it was some leaves. Again, they're very confusing here, I gotta say. Maybe someone cut some of those trees down a little. But when I look at the front wing of Sergi, it looks like he's fine. It doesn't look like he has any damage there. It's definitely not on the left side. I'm trying to get a shot of the right side, but it looks to me that he is okay. But yeah, that was a little bit over-aggressive from him, braking too late into the first chicane. And then collecting Dan on the exit, allowing the OG to make his way through and get 2 positions up into 4th now. And you can see a gap already evolving. One gap between Demon and Giggs over a second there, so Giggs does not get any DRS. And then over 2.5 seconds now between Jamie James and the OG as a result of this incident between Dan and Sergey, as Sergey loses positions not just to Pip Matt, who's now up into 6th place already, but also to his teammate Drez. Maybe he's thinking that he wants his teammate Drez, who is pretty good at overtaking, we've seen that so far this season, that he maybe wants him to be a little bit of a front gunner, if you will, that he tries to pave the way for Sergey to bring him back into this. But now the 2 Haas are a little bit fighting there out of the second chicane, as Drez did not get a good exit out of there. And he does get a good exit here either, yes.
And he's collected Sergey as well. Sergey's out. Championship leader out of the race. A mistake there from Drez, and it's cost him his teammate dearly. And Demon there, we'll see that at the bottom of his screen, and that will motivate him even more to try and get that gap as far as possible. Also, Dan the Snake's eyes would have lit up as well. He's only 19 points behind the leader. If he gets to 2nd place, he's got a good chance of closing that gap entirely. Look at this, we're going 3 wide, down the back straight towards Parabolica. This is Roadhouse, Alex 20, Crow Nexus as well. As you see the Force India in the background there as we head towards Parabolica. Can they keep it all together as we make our way through? Looks like Crow Nexus just about gets it, but they're all going to have DRS on each other. The Roadhouse there just trying to gallop away. As you see there, Drez is trying to make up for his error then, as we head down the long straight then towards Retafilo. For the 6th time, you can see they're going 3 wide. There's a little bit of contact, and Crow Nexus there collected his front tyre on the Sauber. Somehow kept control of the car there, and he's putting that Sauber now under pressure as we head through the Curva Grande. He's on the inside then. That's going to become the outside if the Sauber can get there, but no, he can't. He has to duck back into the slipstream. This is Crow Nexus. He's going to try and move on the McLaren going through the 2nd chicane. The McLaren has to go off the track. There was no room for him on it. And as we head towards the Lesmo then, You can see that's a Force India trying to go up the inside now. That's Apex there. Wanted to try and dive it up the inside, but had to back out of it. And he's putting Alex 20 under a lot of pressure. And there's about 5 or 6 cars involved in that battle. And they're all facing the right way. As a lot of locked brakes, a lot of smoke out of a couple of corners. But they're all through. And Solid Ninja Snake leads that train as we head through Ascari. Apex is on the inside there of Apex, but it became the outside. Nowhere for the Force India to go. And for the Force India, it seems already like it's a recovery drive. Meanwhile, his teammate, by the way, is up to P7. Here comes Alex Musica. Remember, on those medium tyres, he's going to try and go around the outside of Parabolica. Of course, he is on those medium tyres. He started on those tyres as well as he makes his way down the long straight.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Dan the Snake now with the move on the OG, and that is something that we have to look out for. You said before, if Dan the Snake gets second, he will almost entirely close the gap to Sergey. Now he's moved up into 4th place, got rid of the OG, and he's trying to make his way now further up to Giggs and Jemmy James as Alex picks up a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. Wow. What did he do there?
I think he just cut the Retafilo chicane there, just in the wrong way, and Cronex is all locking up there. Bit of a loss of control there. He saw the McLaren lock up ahead, and he had to lock up too. It's all a little on a knife edge, this one. But as you can see, the battle for 9th place is hotting up very nicely. Yeah, you're fine to cut me off, especially if it's Dan the Snake trying to battle away 4 positions. He's up to 4th place now, 2.5 behind the next car. And he wants as many points as possible. You can see Solid Ninja Snake under massive pressure from Cronexus as we head towards Ascari. He's got the inside line and takes the position away. Cronexus' aggressiveness has paid off. And the Sauber, meanwhile, of Alex 20 has got past Dress, and Dress once again losing the back end. I don't think he's got the right setup. Either the ballast is too far forward, but he's not getting the best out of that car. It seems a little nervous going through the corners. Solid Ninja Snake, meanwhile, has got the position back. Going through Parabolica.
Yes, not just did he get the position back, Cronexus let him through to get the DRS. He deliberately went on the brakes a little early to do just that right here, and that is strategically genius from Nexus. He let him through before the DRS detection point to get the DRS himself on the start-finish straight, and then takes the DRS, gets the slipstream, uses his ERS, and easily breezes past Solid Ninja Snake to take the position back. Very smart defending right here.
Oh, Drez there, you just saw get around Alex 20. Alex 20's not going to let him go that easily. Remember, Alex 20 on the soft tyres, wanting to make that alternate strategy work. Drez, meanwhile, making a mistake in the middle of the 2 Lesmos, which cost his teammate a place in this race. He retired just after the 2nd Lesmo in the wall there. Dan the Snake has not been able to get away from the OG though. Half a second between them. You got Pitmat and Igo Champ behind them. Remember, Igo Champ, I believe, started from P15. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Indeed.
And he's all the way up to P7, so he's done a great job there. Demon, meanwhile, is under pressure from Jemmy James. The gap is less than a second. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. Meanwhile, Alex 20 and Drez are still battling through then. Alex 20 has the outside line, wanting to try and make that work, but it hasn't quite done it. Drez is going to have the better exit, and he actually comes into the pits then. So Drez is into the pits, as is Gwiggs. So Gwiggs is one of the first in, so it's lap 9. So this is a lot longer than we were expecting on those super soft runners. We expected them, well, the window opened lap 7, didn't it? Oh, that's a big lock up there from Alex Musica. Sorry, yeah, the window opened lap 7 to 10. So a lot of the drivers wanted to try and make them last as long as possible there. Sorry to cut you off there, Austin.
No, it's fine. I have to say, we are at the end of lap 8. We have just started lap 9 here, so they came in after 8 laps. So 1 lap longer than the window originally opened up at. So it's not that long, and I expect most of the drivers to come in now at the end of lap 9 or at the end of next lap. Maybe someone will take it a little longer, but I would expect most drivers to come in either now or next lap. Obviously, for example, if you have the 2 Toro Rossos that are only 5 seconds away from each other, you don't want to double stack. So Demon is probably going to come in now, with Dan the Snake coming in next lap, and then for the Ferrari, Jemmy James probably follows Demon.
Sorry to cut you off there, Austin. That's OG and Igo Champ making huge contact on the entry of Parabolica then. I think they locked wheels there, and there's a lot of, well, there's debris. There's definitely debris there. just on which cars. The Renault, I think, looks okay. What about the Force India? Well, the Renault's coming in anyway, and that is one that is going to go to the stewards for sure. It's a bit action-packed here, and if you keep your nose clean, you've got a chance of a good result. Speaking of which, Solid Ninja Snake, remember, he's on the soft tyres now. He's managed to get past Chrome Nexus there, locked up the brakes, heading in towards turn 1, but he's got the move done, and you can see there Alex Musica on the medium tyres trying to fight away with Apex, but Apex there able to keep the traction down, and he's able to pull away then. It's so much action going on, Austin. I don't think we've had to interrupt each other as often as this.
Yeah, it surprises me, but this is what Monza is pretty much known for. Nose-to-nose action, or nose-to gearbox action maybe. Just very close racing, wheel-to-wheel, and everyone's going at it. And a little bit of a surprise for me here is that Dan the Snake was the one for Toro Rosso who went in at the end of last lap, and Demon will come in now most likely. He did request the pit stop. Pit Matt will come in. Roadhouse will come in. Solid Ninja Snake is going to have to carry it 1 lap longer, so no double stack here. And Cronex, the same thing, because Pit Matt is his teammate, and he will come in. So both of them going to have to take it a lap longer. FAP Alex 20 will come in. Apex will stay out for another lap, it seems, or at least he didn't request his pit stop. Maybe he will still come in, but no, he will actually take it another lap. Interesting. I did not expect that, because he has no danger of double stacking like Solid Ninja Snake and Cronexus have, who are fighting for position right now. With FAP Alex involved as well. It's a three-way race here. And a 5-second stop and go penalty for corner cutting for Solid Ninja Snake, but there was contact. So this penalty, well, he's going to have to serve it, so this cannot be taken away. This is a 5-second penalty that will not be taken away, so he's going to have to serve it at the pit stop. Very, very unfortunate, because there was not much he could do about it. Very, very unjust penalty for him there, but hey, sometimes it goes that way. Not every penalty is always 100% just. He's going to have to work around it. And yeah, get his head down and maybe gain some places on track after the pit stop.
Well, Dan the Snake then has made a move on Gwiggs. Interestingly though, Gwiggs has come out on a set of medium tyres. Maybe he's not confident to getting those soft tyres to the end of the race, but I wonder if the Ferrari strategists have got that right. I'm not entirely sure, because his teammate Jamie James is on a set of soft tyres, so unless that's personal preference there, he might have pressed the wrong button there. Chrome Nexus making his way around Parabolica. 3-car battle here as Chrome Nexus is coming in. Yes, he pulls off a dummy there. And Solid Ninja Snake will inherit the lead of the race. You've got Alex 20, Apex, and Alex Musica there in 4th place. He's done a great job on those medium tyres. And here's Solid Ninja Snake having to defend the inside line. Locks up a little bit, but able to keep the car under control. And it's a 3-way battle for what is the lead of the race right now. But as soon as these guys pit, then they'll be back to the midfield. But for now, they can enjoy a battle for the lead. Alex 20 trying to go around the outside of Curva Grande as they head down towards Roger. And Alex 20 has the inside line. In fact, he's got the position. So Alex 20 takes the lead of the race. And Solid Ninja Snake down to P2. Apex in 3rd place. And I have to say, Alex Musica on those medium tyres has done a fantastic job so far. Maybe Griggs has seen the pace of Alex Musica and decided actually the mediums are the better choice.
Well, the thing for Giggs is he went into the pits at the end of lap 8, which was the earliest we've seen in this race. And I don't know if I went into it on stream, but I've said to you before the race, definitely, that when they come in lap 8, they have a choice to make. They can either try to take the softs for 19 laps.
Oh, dress this out.
Which is a very long time. Or they can go onto the mediums, which is definitely the safe call here. And Giggs decided to make the safe call and play it safe so he can get some proper positions. And so I don't think that was a mistake from him. I don't think he pressed the wrong button. I think it's a smart call from Ferrari. The Ferrari strategist, for once, I think made a proper job here. We've not seen that too often this season. At least not in real life. Here in AOR, definitely a different story. Although they did have their mix-ups as well. I'm not gonna lie, but it went well this time. And what surprises me right now is that Mike Tynus is still out on the tires that he started on. 12 laps old super softs.
Well, that might be
they're
great
gonna be
time management
13.
there. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was just seeing there, Pitmat's got a past Giggs here, or Giggs, and Giggs, it's falling down the field on those medium tyres. Perhaps they don't have the pace that maybe Giggs wanted. Here comes Alex Musica, by the way, coming down towards Ascari. He's up the inside of Solid Ninja Snake, and he's got the position. Great move then from Alex Musica. Just to go on a point there, Drez there, I had a look on the stream. He actually retired from the menu. He made a mistake into the first Lesmo and decided to call it a day. So both Haas cars are out of this race.
Yeah, very, very unlucky, and that obviously opens up it does open up, it pretty much locks down the team championship. Toro Rosso right now, virtually, because we still have 4 cars that have to pit, virtually in second and third as Dan the Snake makes a move on Mike Tynes, who's in the pits now. So second and third, that will be 33 points. They already have a lead of 138, so they will only add to that.
Safety car.
It is safety
car. Elite Game Boy made a mistake out of Ascari. I thought I saw him, but this is going to shake the race up entirely. Alex Musica on those medium tyres there. You've got Alex 20, Apex, Alex Musica, Solid Ninja Snake, who haven't stopped, and this will be a blessing in disguise. They've got a free pit stop.
Well, I don't think it's going to be an absolutely free pit stop, but it definitely helps them. I'm very surprised, or very interested. Sorry, my language isn't really on point today. Very interested to see where they end up in the field, because the gap is pretty high. We're talking 8 seconds between Solid Ninja Snake and Jemmy James. Jemmy James, who's the virtual leader. Well, who was the virtual leader before the safety car. It's 10 seconds now between Jemmy James and Alex 20. So it could happen, because the cars have to go slow, that they will end up in a very, very good position. They will all come in here. There's no double stack, so Alex 20, Apex, Alex Musica, Solid Ninja Snake, they will all come in now. This is an absolute blessing, not just in disguise. No, this is an open blessing. This is almost an exhibitionist a blessing.
Absolutely.
It's revealing itself in front of the whole field, and now Jemmy James does move into first position, and he can go a little fast. That is the one good news, that everyone can now take it rather fast. But where do they end up? Alex 20 coming out of the pits, P6 right now, and he will end up in P6.
Well, he's come back out on a set of medium tyres, and lap 14. It's a little early to go on to a set of super softs from the softs, but under the safety car, you should be able to manage those tyres. Alex 20 not confident then. He's gone for the mediums.
Yeah, the thing is, the pit window for the super softs opens lap 16. And they came in at the end of lap 14, so 2 laps early. But as you said, under the safety car, they should be fine. The car is a little bit lighter, don't forget that. That's why the pit window opens a little early, and you can take them 11 laps when you only can take them 10 laps at the start of the race. The car gets lighter, therefore the tire wear goes down, or the tire wear gets a little better, and you can take the tires longer. But you also have the safety car right now, which will probably stay out 2 laps, I would guess, 2 more, this one and the next one, and then come in at the end of the next lap, at the end of lap 16. But yeah, again, tire wear, you have to make a call here, and it's really a judgment call, and Apex will pay for the super soft choice at the end of towards the end of the race, whereas for FAP Alex 20, he's gonna have really good tires towards the end, where the softs of the top 5 maybe are gonna fall off. He's gonna have superior grip, and he might be in the running. Actually, this might be a really good call on the part of Alex 20. All he needs to do is stay in the slipstream of the Roadhouse. In the slipstream of the Roadhouse, and try to just stay as close to everyone else as possible for the remainder of time that his mediums are slower than the softs in front of him.
It was quite funny seeing Apex down the back straight, almost doing a Kimi Raikkonen at Abu Dhabi, just going in an absolute straight line whilst everybody else was trying to warm up their tyres. That may be because he's on some super softs. He has pitted early. As we were talking about, the pit window for those softs technically is open now on lap 16, so maybe he's just trying to keep those tyres in check. He doesn't want to wear them out more than he needs to. But as I say, as you said, Austin, Apex in P7, we have to watch out for him. He's got a great chance of stealing some really, really good points, and especially after the qualifying he had, starting from pretty much the back of the grid. To see him now. Igo Champ, meanwhile, on a set of soft tyres. I believe he pitted in under the safety car again to go onto a set of soft tyres. He was running in the points, and now he finds himself at the back of the queue. Now, I wonder if the safety car is going to let him catch up. He's 5 seconds behind Giggs there. Giggs binning those medium tyres. He's going to make it. Well, Giggs has binned those medium tyres, and the safety car is in this lap then. So Jamie James will control the pace then for the restart. And remember, it is the safety car line that will decide when those green flags come out. As you can see there, rigorously getting those heat into the tyres. And you can see there, Jamie James is just holding up the pack. It's under his command there. You can see mode 4 on his battery. He's ready to go whenever the safety car comes in. And you can see there, you can see Alex 20. I'm still not sure about the medium call, but here we go then. It looks like Jamie James has gone for it. Hard on the throttle now as he makes his way around Parabolica, still under safety car conditions as he loses the back end just very slightly there, and that's going to cost him some time as we see now green flags.
And Alex crashes into the wall. Alex 20 is into the wall out of Parabolica, completely untouched, and he has to go into the pits. He's down to last now, and he's going into the pits, so the medium call really wasn't good, and he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So very, very unfortunate. He lost the back end there. Completely unforced error from Alex 20. Very, very unfortunate. Meanwhile, up front, Apex now has to make overtakes very quickly because his tires are going to deteriorate very quickly. So he needs to do some work, get some positions, maybe get into the lead within, I would say, 4 or 5 laps. He has to get a positional lap here pretty much to have a chance of winning this race, because now his tires are the best in the field. And,
Solid Ninja Snake is around! Sorry to cut you off there, Austin. It's Solid Ninja Snake is around. He's collected the Ferrari as well. Giggs is into the gravel. Mayhem around the first Lesmo then. And Giggs, who was up onto the second row of the grid in qualifying, finds himself the wrong way around and now P13. Enduring all that, Demon actually did make a move for the lead then, going down into the first turn. You can see Apex here in the slipstream of the Roadhouse. We have 11 laps to go. It will be 10 when we reach the line. Here comes Apex up the inside. Knows he has to get the job done. Roadhouse holds the outside. You can see Alex Musica is right behind them. There's a little bit of contact there. A little bit of a touch then from the Force India onto the McLaren as we make our way down the straight then. No DRS, of course. DRS is not active.
As you can see. Musica. Here comes Alex Musica, 3 wide.
3 wide into the first corner. Are they going to make it out alive? Here we go then through the first corner, and yes they are. They're all facing the same way. Apex then up to P5 and Alex Musica up to P6. Don't rule him out of a good result just yet, as we see then Demon is trying to run away with this one. Just over a second in the lead now. And you can see Jamie James trying to hold on to P2. Dan the Snake has got Jamie James in his sights. He knows P2 will be enough to close that gap up as much as possible. You can see they're still battling behind, and Roadhouse is trying to battle away with Alex Musica as they headed through the first Lesmo. That's Crow Nexus right behind them in the Mercedes. And we know Crow Nexus, if he sees a gap, he's going for it. And as we head towards Ascari there, you can see Alex Musica right. Oh, big contact! Big contact! Alex Musica's out! Big contact between the McLaren and the Williams there, and Alex Musica finds himself out of the race. He hit the wall on the left-hand side after that contact, and Alex Musica out of the race. And that becomes our 5th retirement of the race then. Demon making his way around the final corner towards the start-finish line. He will start lap 19 of this race, and DRS is now enabled, but they won't get to use it now until the second half of the lap pretty much, on the exit of the second Lesmo. And the top 5 here are very, very close together, as there's a little bit of contact.
A little touch between Apex and Pipmat, but Pipmat was able to hold the car That was very, very close there. Pipmat with almost a spin. Now he takes the inside for the chicane. Apex trying to round the outside, and he lets him go. He lets him go. I think maybe Pipmat is thinking, one, I want points here. I want to stay in the championship fight. And two, he's on the super softs. He might fall off a cliff towards the end of the race. So why would I fight this now if he might be slow towards the end? Just let him go. He's faster anyway. Try to stay with him as Matt does get the DRS off of him. And just, you know, live to fight another day.
Igo Champ then coming towards Ascari, putting some pressure on Mike then, as Demon now is under big pressure from the Ferrari here. If he thought this was going to be his 6th win of the season, not just yet. Got to make it to that checkered flag first as he makes his way through Parabolica then, coming towards the start-finish line. We have 8 laps to go, and importantly, the Ferrari here has DRS. Now, how good is this car down the straight? Then you can see he's closing, he moves to the right-hand side, tries to give himself the inside line for turn 1. He'll turn the car in, and he'll take the lead of the race. Jamie James in the lead, and the Tifosi go wild. Igo Champ trying to go up the inside now of Mike here as we head through towards turn 2, and contact there, and Mike lets him go. Igo Champ makes his way up into P8 then, no damage to either of them. And Jamie James here is going to have to hold off from Demon here, who so wants this race win. He was all over social media saying, this is it, this is my 6th win of the season, I'm saying it now. He currently finds himself behind the Ferrari in 2nd place. Long way to go, of course.
Yeah, and I'm keeping an eye on Apex right now. He is closing in on Dan the Snake. The gap was just over a second at the last DRS detection point, not the one that they went through between the Lesmos, but I'm talking about the one before the Parabolica, and now he's up into 5/10ths of a gap, and he is closing in more and more, getting the slipstream off Dan the Snake, and he will get there, and he will be a part of this fight very, very soon. He gets the DRS here, but Dan the Snake will get DRS as well, as does Demon. Demon might be fighting back behind. He's a little bit too far away, I would think.
Well, here we go. Apex.
Here we go. Apex on Dan the Snake down the inside, and that should be a position. Yes, on the brakes. That is the power of these super soft tires. You can go onto the brakes so much later. You have so much more grip, and he does take the position rather easily. So now he needs 2 more. And as I said, 5 positions in 5 laps. He's got 3 so far in just about 3.5 laps. So now he needs to get Demon and Jamie James and then secure the lead and defend hammer and tongue. That is, I think, his strategy, and he might make it work to perfection. He won... Hold on. Did he win the last race?
He did, yes. He won in Belgium.
He won the last race. Can he make it back-to-back?
Here we go then, going down towards Ascari. You can see Demon there. Having that DRS is probably saving him from that position. Apex focusing on the grip through Ascari, which is definitely what he needs. The exit of Ascari is so crucial as we now head down towards Parabolica. 3 cars separated by 0.6 of a second. It's 4 cars separated by 1 second as we make our way around Parabolica for the 21st time. 6 laps to go when Jamie James crosses the line, and Apex has a good run on Demon. You can see he's closing in on him.
Here we go.
He'll move to the right-hand side. Demon trying to stick left as far as possible. Jamie James trying to defend the inside line as well. And here comes Apex then. Would he try and move for the lead? No, he doesn't. He sticks. Oh, a little bit of contact there with the Ferrari. But he's now side by side with him as we head towards the Curva Grande. And we don't want this to end in tears for the Ferrari. We will never hear the end of it. But they make it through Curva Grande then towards the second chicane. And you can see Apex round the outside. Is he going to make a move for the lead of the race? There's contact. And Jamie James just about keeps the car in check. And Apex has got to be careful here. One more move like that and that could be race over.
Yeah, that was very, very risky from him. If you want to make the move, I mean, he has to be aggressive. I said that, but don't be over-aggressive. Don't try to force a move where it isn't possible. Don't forget, Jamie James does not have DRS. He's the leader. By default, he doesn't have DRS. Apex does. So he has to make that work in his favor and get the position that way. But I have to say one more thing. Apex, you can very much see when he tries to overtake and when he doesn't. Just look at his ERS. When he doesn't try to overtake, he just goes straight into no ERS deployment whatsoever. When he tries to overtake, he goes into overtake mode. Number 4 on the ERS, and he does have it right now.
Here we go then.
The DRS, here comes the slipstream, here comes the Force India flying past Jamie James, and that is the lead. 5 positions in 5 laps. I said it, and he's done it.
Absolutely. We've got the Toro Rossos battling as well, just behind them, and that's going to frustrate Pit Matt because he knows he can try and get past them. He wants those championship points to reel himself back into the championship hunt. And Apex here now just has to try and manage those tyres. It's easier said than done, especially with those super softs. He's been battling away for some time now, and obviously that takes away from the life of these tyres as we head through the first Lesmo, coming now towards the second Lesmo. He could go back-to-back wins here, and for Demon, he's now down to 3rd place. Under pressure from his teammate Dan the Snake and also from Pit Matt. I don't think Dan the Snake is going to make this too easy. He's still in the championship hunt. As it stands right now, he'll lose a couple of positions or points to... well, if you see what I mean, he'll gain on Sergey, but he'll lose on Demon. And at the moment, Demon will be taking the lead of the championship. Solid Ninja Snake then makes a move on Mike. He's now up to P9, but he gets himself a 3-second time penalty for his troubles there. You've got to be careful going through Ascari. Apex then running on the green. You'll get a warning for that as he makes his way towards the start-finish line. And this is so intense as Apex makes his way down towards the start, the first chicane. You can see Pit Matt there. Is he going to try and move on one of the Toro Rossos here? He thought about it, left his braking as late as he possibly could before backing out of the move, and that's not what he wanted to do. Meanwhile, Igo Champ is around the outside of the OG going into turn 1, and that's Mike going across the track there and losing a whole load of positions then. Just overcooked it coming into turn 1 then and had to take evasive action, had to slow right up to make sure he didn't get a penalty there. But here's OG and Igo Champ heading towards Roger, but Igo Champ holds true and keeps his position. We have 4 laps to go.
I had a little look at the penalties, and I can give every driver some advice here. Apex, drive out a 3-second gap. Jamie James does not have a penalty and Apex does. Demon, drive out a 3-second penalty to the car behind you and maybe try to overtake Jamie James or at least get 3rd. Because Demon has a 3-second penalty, Dan the Snake does not. Pit Matt, move. Move up as fast as you can. Also a 3-second penalty. If he wants to make another position, he's going to have to make moves now, and he has to drive out a little gap as well. But it's probably going to be 5th place for Matt. Demon, I don't see him drive out a gap to Dan. Dan is too close. Dan is on pace with him. Oh, well, does lock up a little in the turn 1. But nonetheless, it holds true that Dan the Snake does have the pace of Demon. And Demon himself doesn't get any DRS. And for Apex, it's really about now still try to drive as quickly as possible. Jamie James, really just stay behind Apex. Don't fight. Don't try to get involved into any kind of kerfuffle and just bring it home. Because on penalties, the Ferrari is going to win if Jamie James doesn't get himself more warnings. I think he does even have 1 free. Yes, he does have 1 more free. He only has 1 warning so far. So he can afford a second one. But no more than that.
Well, it's tension personified here. Apex can't actually get away from Jamie James. And as it stands then, Jamie James will be winning this race. We've got yellow flags in Sector 2. But I'm not quite sure who it was. But they're in now, so it must have been too dramatic. Apex then will start the penultimate lap of the race in the lead, and you can see the 2 Toro Rossos are close to each other, but Pit Matt wants this move now. He did try a move going into turn 1, but Dan the Snake closed the door. This time he closes the door again, and the 2 Toro Rossos are almost working together here, and you can see the frustration Pit Matt's going through right now. He wants that position. He knows he can get it, but there's just no way through. As you can see there, Igo Champ holding off from the OG. Crow Nexus also in P8 there, trying to make moves work. And you can see Apex 0.3 of a second that gap was into the braking zone. And Demon there in 3rd place, managing to just try and get away from Dan the Snake. But obviously, I think the two Toro Rossos are working together now. Demon allowing Dan the Snake to be as close as he possibly can to get that DRS to keep him ahead of Pitmat, because at the end of the day, Demon here is to finish ahead of Dan the Snake and Pitmat, and he will take the lead of the championship and extend his lead between those two drivers behind him. So I think he's very comfortable hanging on to P3 here. It may not be his 6th win of the season like he wanted, but it will be more championship points. And here comes Pitmat then riding on board as we watch the rear end of the Toro Rosso of Dan the Snake coming towards Parabolica, and Pitmat here might be sizing up for one last move down into the chicane. Then Apex starts the final lap of the race in the lead. Well, where will he finish it? Demon here is trying to get away from Dan the Snake. You can see here Pitmat is all over the rear wing of Dan the Snake as we head towards turn 1 for the final time. Pitmat's going to go for it, is he? He's right up the inside. It's a very tight steering angle. He has to go round the outside, and Dan the Snake slams the door shut. Aggressive defending, but it's worked, and Dan the Snake holds on to P4, and Pitmat there has only really got a couple more chances here. I think he's too far back to have a try into the Roger chicane. He'll certainly close up, locks up a little bit as well as we head through towards the Lesmos now. Meanwhile, Apex is heading towards the second Lesmo, and a Ferrari here might be on the top step of the podium. Jamie James just has to keep all 4 wheels on the track for a couple more corners, and he might be able to take the race win. Here comes Apex then as he heads towards Ascari for the final time. It's been such a dramatic race. There have been battles all over the field. There have been incidents all over the field too. We've had the championship leader out of the race, and it all comes down to this then. Apex heading towards Parabolica for the final time this race as he rounds the final corner. Has he done enough to take the race win? He'll head around the final corner. The checkered flag is out, and will Apex take his back-to-back wins as he crosses the line? No, he doesn't. Jamie James in a Ferrari wins at Monza. What a fantastic result for the Ferrari there. Dan the Snake jumps up to P3, Demon in 4th place, and Pitmat frustrated in P5. That's Igo Champ, who'll finish in P6. OG jumps Cronexus there for P7. Cronexus 8th, Mike in 9th. Gigs there. Awful day for him at the office. He finishes in 10th with Solid Ninja Snake in 11th. Roadhouse will cross the line in 12th place. And Alex 20 will come around Parabolica to pick up the final finishing position of P13. But your winner of the Italian Grand Prix, would it have been anything else other than a red Ferrari? It's Jamie James.
Yes, incredible job from him, and his 2nd win of the season. His first was in Canada, and now he picks up another one at his team's home Grand Prix. And it's all in all, it's a very, very good race for home teams here. I mean, Force India, granted, is not a home team, but Toro Rosso, also an Italian team here, on P3 and P4. So very, very good result for all the Italian teams out here. But yeah, Jamie James, very, very good result. He moves up the standings. He's got 76 points now. The battle for 6th in the standings is also pretty much on. I mean, we've got P6, the OG, in the standings. Now, obviously, not anymore. But before this race, the OG had 67 points. Alex Musica in 12th was just a single race win, 25 points behind that. So it's very, very close back there. And with this win, Jamie James puts himself up into 6th place, jumps 5 drivers in the standings. Apex also moves up from 53 now to 71, so he will be in 7th. The OG falls down to 8th. Gigs falls down to 9th, most likely. I haven't done all the calculations, but it seems so, certainly. Dan the Snake gets 15 points, so he's up to 184. He is within 4 points of Sergey. 4 points. Demon in 4th place gets 12, so he's at 194. So we got 194 for Demon, 188, 6 points behind for Sergey, and 184, another 4 points for Dan the Snake. That is incredible. We are at a point, 10 points between the top 3 drivers, and Pitmat, 148. He does gain 4 points on the championship leader which obviously has changed. So instead of 50 behind Sergey, he's now 46 behind Demon, but it doesn't help him as much as he needed to. And with seven races left, my goodness, I can't even speak. With 7 races left, he still can win under his own power, but it's getting closer and closer, and he's gonna have to make some serious inroads over the next races. The next race will be the Singapore Grand Prix. Next week, same time, Sunday, what is that, February 3rd, 8 p.m. UK time, and we will be there. But that was an exciting race. Singapore is going to be completely different, I'm going to tell you that. We are going from the quickest race, because of the length of the track and how quick you can drive around here, to the longest race on the F1 calendar. Singapore, a rather short track with a lot of corners and not a lot of straights, so this is in fact the longest race in the F1 calendar that is going to come up. So a lot of changes for the drivers to be made, and I think we will see a big scramble of the field. But who will come out on top? Stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe to the Apex Online Racing channel to stay up to date for that. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much, Kieran, for doing this with me.
Well, you've taken over my job.
I'm sorry.
You're all right. I was just like, I'll just check all the chats and everything. Obviously, those were the unofficial results there, so things could still happen in the stewards' room. As it stands, without any of that, we have a new championship leader in Demon, and this is the part. This is the part of the stream where you have to say "I told you so," but in a way that doesn't say that. What's the best way of saying that, Austin? I'm of course joking, Demon. He does take the lead of the championship, though. 7 races to go, as Austin said. The Singapore Grand Prix, one of the toughest and most physical tracks on the calendar, and we'll both be there to have it in all its glory. We hope to see you then. I've been Kieran McGinley.
And I'm Austin Smith.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.